Welcome to another recap. The movie starts with a girl running away from a lab, pursued by some strange creatures. She escapes by flying away on her magical broom, but a massive explosion in the lab sends her crashing far away. As she falls, some seeds spill from her bag, and everything around her appears huge. The wild growth of trees even hides her magical broom. The scene then shifts to many years later, where we meet a girl named Mary. Mary dislikes her red hair because it makes her different from others, and people often mock her for it. She has come to spend her holidays at her grandmother's place. Feeling bored, she tries to occupy herself with household chores, but everything she attempts seems to go wrong. She meets a boy named Peter, which leaves her feeling frustrated. One day, Mary is sitting alone in the park when a cat approaches her, and she begins talking to it. After a while, the cat goes behind a plant, and when it emerges, its color has changed. Mary follows the cat, which leads her to a deserted place where she discovers there are actually two different cats. These cats are staring at a peculiar plant, and Mary approaches it despite the cats trying to stop her. She is captivated by the flower on the plant and decides to pick it, ignoring the cat's warnings. Later, she visits her gardener, who explains that the two cats are Tip and Gib, Peter's pets. The gardener tells her that the flower she found is unique and was once used by witches for spells. Mary listens with fascination and keeps the flower with her. The next morning, Mary's grandmother asks her to deliver a letter to Peter. When Mary reaches Peter, she learns that Gib has been missing since the previous night. They both venture into the forest to find Gib. Along the way, Peter teases her about her funny red hair, which makes Mary angry, and she decides to continue the search alone. As she walks further, she encounters Tip, who has the magical flower in her mouth. Following Tip, Mary reaches a place where the same magical broom lies hidden. She struggles to pull it out of the tree, and a piece of the flower falls onto her. When she catches it, the flower emits a light, leaving a strange mark on her hand. The magical broom comes to life, and despite her efforts to control it, it takes off with Mary and Tip, flying them into the sky. They arrive at a magical place above the clouds, where they see a large mansion. The broom lands them there, and they encounter a talking rat, who introduces himself as a teacher and offers to teach Mary how to fly. Suddenly, a bell rings, and the talking rat informs Mary that she should go to school. Mary reaches a grand building via a treacherous path, where the rat warns her that if a normal person enters, the principal will transform them into an animal. This was the oldest magical school, and the main gate opens as the talking rat departs, leaving Mary to find the principal's office. Inside, a fountain sculpture asks Mary if she is a new student, and, confused, Mary replies yes. The sculpture releases water and offers Mary a tour of the campus. She discovers the place's uniqueness and sees more people as they travel to another campus through the clouds. The principal explains that different subjects are taught here, including magical history, sports, and flying. Students can also enjoy food of their choice. The principal tells Mary that she will be a special student because of the mark on her hand and her red hair, as witches with red hair are considered powerful. For the first time, Mary feels proud of her hair and herself. They visit a chemistry class, where the teacher is impressed by Mary. The class combines chemistry and magic. They then proceed to a special class where students practice the invisibility spell. The teacher challenges Mary to demonstrate her power. Nervous, Mary picks up a globe, activates it with her hand's mark, and suddenly disappears, causing a storm. Tip is caught in the storm, and Mary saves him. Everyone attributes Mary's power to her hair, and for the first time, she receives recognition because of it, which makes her happy. The chemistry teacher takes Mary and the principal to a basement with various animals. The principal explains that the teachers want to transform them into magical creatures, but they haven't succeeded yet. Tip tries to enter the basement, but the chemistry teacher stops him, warning Mary of the dangerous creatures inside. The principal takes Mary to her office to complete her admission. Mary notices a painting of the flower and a special book containing all the world's magical spells. Suddenly, the principal enters, and the flower emerges from Mary's pocket. Shocked, the principal asks if Mary has the flower. Mary denies it, hiding the book in her bag. She only has the address her grandmother gave her, which she shows the principal, claiming the flower can be found there. Mary, accompanied by the principal and the chemistry teacher, heads out of the school. The principal tells Mary to fill out the admission form and bring it back. The talking rat gives Mary her magical broom, which the principal recognizes instantly. As Mary tries to pick up Tip, she finds he won't budge. After some effort, Mary manages to take Tip with her and leaves. Meanwhile, the principal casts a magical spell on the address written on Mary's paper and sends it off. As Mary flies on her broom, she notices its power diminishing, forcing her to land. She realizes that the marks on her hands have disappeared, indicating the flower's magic was temporary. When she returns home, her grandmother is waiting for her. Mary decides she will never return to the magical place again. However, she hears strange noises and learns from the gardener that Peter is missing. Tip starts acting strangely, and Mary sees the enchanted paper from the principal float in through the window. A holographic image of the principal appears, revealing that she knows Mary's secret and has taken Peter captive. The principal demands the flower in exchange for Peter's safety, threatening to transform him into a demon if Mary refuses. Realizing her mistake, Mary grabs the flower, activates its magic, and sets off with Tip to rescue Peter. The noise of their departure wakes her grandmother, who finds a fallen flower and looks worried, suggesting she knows more than she has let on. Mary returns to the principal with the flower, which the principal promptly locks away in the basement. The principal's plan is to transform all animals and humans into magical creatures using the flower's power. The chemistry teacher assures the principal that the plan will succeed this time, starting with Peter. Trapped in the basement, Mary tries to escape but is thwarted by a spell on the door. She sees many animals that have been transformed into strange creatures, including Tip. Suddenly, Peter appears, and Mary apologizes to him. Peter reassures her, saying they'll find a way out together. In that moment, Mary remembers the magical book she had hidden in her bag. She opens it and discovers a spell to undo all the transformations. She places her hand on the spell, activating it, and all the animals in the basement revert to their original forms, including Tip. Seizing the opportunity, Mary, Peter, and the animals make a break for it. The principal discovers something is amiss and rushes to the basement, only to see everyone escaping. Panicked, the principal heads to retrieve her magical book. The principal realizes that the magical book is missing and understands that Mary has taken it. As Mary and Peter are about to escape on her magical broom, the principal catches up to them. In an attempt to save Mary, Peter lets go of her hand, allowing the principal to capture him and Gib once more. Mary, still on her broom, is whisked away to an island where she finds a mysterious house. Inside, she discovers a mirror that reveals her grandmother's reflection. Her grandmother explains that she too was a witch with red hair in her youth and had attended the same magical school alongside the principal and chemistry teacher. They were talented magicians, but things went awry when they attempted to use the magical flowers to transform everyone into magical beings. Their spell went wrong, creating a huge monster, prompting Mary's grandmother to flee with all the flowers. Mary's grandmother urges her to use a flower to escape, warning that her powers will soon fade and she'll be trapped. However, Mary insists she won't leave without rescuing Peter. She decides to use the flower's magic to return and save him. As Mary prepares to leave, the principal and strange creatures pursue her. During the chase, the principal snatches Mary's bag containing the magical book and flower. The principal heads straight to the chemistry professor's lab to begin their experiment. Mary's broom loses power, causing her to crash land, breaking the broom in the process. Despite the setback, Mary is determined to rescue Peter. Along the way, she encounters the animals she had previously freed, who help her reach Peter. With Tip and Gib's guidance, Mary finds a secret path leading to the lab. Inside, she sees the experiment about to begin, with Peter as the subject. Mary pleads with the principal to stop, but the experiment has already begun, transforming Peter into a monster. The experiment fails once again, and the monster begins to destroy the lab. In an attempt to regain control, the principal tries to cast a spell, but the monster absorbs her magic. Mary notices the flower inside the machine and attempts to remove it to stop the spell. She spots Peter's hand emerging from the monster and places it on the spell in the book, reversing all the spells. The chemistry professor's experiments collapse, and Peter reverts to his human form. The talking mouse returns, bringing Mary a repaired magical broom. Mary, Peter, and the two cats escape together. As they leave, Peter notices a flower still tangled in Mary's hair. When he removes it, Mary says she no longer needs it and tosses it away. The movie ends with the principal and the professor lying on the ground, surrounded by the animals they had experimented on, their plans finally thwarted. Here's the story end.